Yeah, one of the neat things about the Bible Institute at Toalmash is the fact that from the very beginning, matter of fact, the government knew and liked the idea that we would not just be, our teachers would not just be teaching in Hungarian, but if they were Hungarian, they would teach in Hungarian with English translation, and if they were American or something else, they would speak in English with translation into Hungarian. As a matter of fact, our staff there do double translation. If they speak in English, they speak the same thing in Hungarian. And as a result, students from any country across Europe or anywhere in the world that speak English can go to the Hungarian Bible Institute. And because it is double translation in every class in the place. And as a result, there have been more than 500 graduates that have fanned out all across Europe and around the world, literally. And the government from the beginning was interested because at that time they wanted their young people to learn English because that was the language of commerce. And so it's been a great wedding, and it's been a great life factor, and it's a great thing that's unique to the Hungarian Bible Institute. From the time I first met Alex Konya, Alex was a pastor whose grandfather, before he was born, had started the first Hungarian Baptist church in America. And his grandfather used to pray often, almost daily, that God would raise up someone from the Konya family that would go back to Hungary and win their family to Christ. And Alex didn't know about this until he just left, was getting ready to leave, and an aunt told him about it. And so Alex was the answer to a Hungarian grandfather's prayers. Before Alex was even born, it was prayed, and now after the grandfather's in heaven, it's an answer to prayer. Knowing Alex, he had heard about what was going on in Hungary and wanted to go over there, and he went along on a trip, and God just broke his heart, he and Pam, and from then on, it was a fact that he was going to somehow go to Hungary. He had to go over many obstacles, but he arrived there. And did I ever see Alex as a future leader of Hungary? Oh yeah, right from the beginning. And because he's Hungarian, and he's more Hungarian than a lot of Hungarians I know. He is everything that the proverbial Hungarian is. And he's just a perfect fit. And so, yeah. And it's been a wonderful, wonderful relationship. And we've never had such a wonderful team. Matter of fact, it's a wonderful team as we have anywhere in the whole world. And I praise God for them. He had this castle, small castle. He would invite Dan there for dinner. Now, on the wall are all these big pieces of this Hyundai china, which is, what are they worth, $1,000 each? Or, you know, the guy's a billionaire, not a millionaire, a billionaire. And he started out as a chef in Australia after he escaped Hungary. And he'd invite all these people. Now, if Michael Kovács invited anybody to his house for dinner, you came. Politicians, movie stars, Hungarian athletic, Olympic stars, you name it, attorneys, and he'd have Dan there. And Michael would be getting the dinner because he cooked the dinner. And he'd introduce Dan, and he'd say, now, Dan, you're an American. You're a young man. You have any girlfriends? Dan say, no. Really? What are you doing in Hungary? Why would a young American like you come to Hungary? Are you here just for a year? No, I plan to spend the rest of my life here. Well, why? And he'd set it up.
Isn't that something?
Then he'd leave the room. No one dare change the subject, because Michael had opened it up, and Dan would just tell him about the Lord, and hear all these top-notch people from government and you name it, and that was Michael.